Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and this message, it reads like this. Good morning, Brother Nashi. So what happened to me is that I committed a sinful act, and I would like to confess, this is coming from the bottom of my heart, and every day my heart is filled with such a guilty feeling. It is just heavy upon my heart. Each and every day I struggle with the guilt of what I did, because I took something that was not mine and I destroyed something that was innocent. It was more like I poisoned the entire family out of jealousness, and I am so I hate myself for everything that happened to this family. And now that this woman passed away, it makes me to feel so much pain in my heart. And this traditional healer that gave me these charms never ever told me that these charms that he was giving me, it will end up with someone losing their life. And this thing that I did, I do not have any peace in my heart because of my unshamefulness, because of my deeds. I am from Nairobi. I am a teacher by profession. So I met this lady at work. She was new, and the day that she arrived at work, everyone just liked her because she was a beautiful someone with a beautiful heart. She spoke with everyone softly. She never argued with anyone. She was a science teacher, and everyone was just admiring her. She was a well-groomed lady who took good care of herself. I was just a woman who would go to the salon 3 months later, but I noticed that she would change her hair every now and then. Her nails were always on point. She had a beautiful, flawless skin, and I had pimples and a rough skin. She took the entire school's attention. She used your designer perfumes, things that I had never seen before, and everyone wanted to be friends with her, while the guys wanted to date her. And for this, I hated her even more. As I am writing this to you, my heart is heavy, and my heart beats faster and faster because I can't sleep at night because of what I did. Did she deserve to die like this? I wish I could reverse the hands of time. I wish that I was God, and if only I was God, then I would correct all the mistakes that people do, instead of him leaving this guilty feeling that he can live in your heart like this. I wish I could be God only for a second, and if only I knew that I would never find peace and happiness after doing such a thing, I could have stopped myself from doing this. I could have stopped the devil from whispering those wicked words that he whispered into my ears. So what happened is that I became friends with her as she was my head of department. We started to report to her. Seems like she had a master's and I had a first degree only. Fast forward, like I said, the entire school admired her, and my own man whom I was dating started showing interest in her too. I had upped my game too, and had started to change my hair too. I tried to buy clothes that were appealing too. I became obsessed with her whenever she would go to the salon, and when she would come on a Monday with a new hairstyle, then I would go to my own stylist the same night so that I can have a better style than hers. I was in direct competition with her. I became so much obsessed with her until I lost my mind. This was the day that I realized that my own man, my fiancé, was seeing her. They had fallen in love and they could not hide it. It was a heartbreaking situation because me and my fiancé, we were engaged and he had paid the bride price. We worked at the same school with my fiancé, and that is how she had met this lady. I thought of my entire family, how they had celebrated the day that he had paid the bride price. I was the only one in my family to be married. I was the only one who had a man who had came to pay something as for my bride price. As for my cousin sisters, they were below me because they had just had As for the rest of my cousin sisters, they were like below me because all of them, they had been impregnated. So I was the only one who was showing them the right way. For you to be happy in life, you need to control a man. This is what I always told them, that do not rush to open up your legs, and do not think that if you open up your legs for a man, then this is a guarantee that he is going to marry you. But my brother, here I was humiliated. The man that had made my entire family to celebrate, here was the man who had embarrassed me, the man that was dating my enemy. And I didn't even know what to do because he was like my pride. I used to feel very proud about him, and I would make sure that wherever we would go to, I would tell anyone that this relationship that I had with my fiance was a strictly no sex before marriage. And even though he had married me in a cultural way, but I still wanted a white wedding. But here I had lost everything, and he had lost interest in me because of this fine lady. I knew where she resided with her parents. I had tried to be friends with her before she had fallen in love with my man. The hate in me grew with each and every day. All that I wanted was my man back, and I had tried to use those charms which are called bring back lost lover. I had even tried to contact some prophets, some from different countries, and it was not working. So I sat down and I came up with a plan, and after deliberating on this plan for long hours, I only noticed that the only way to get my man back was to remove the girl totally from the picture. I had approached her and begged her to leave my man alone, and she had said that their love was special from the day that my fiance had proposed love to her, even though she had previously never thought of getting married. But now everything had changed, and she was unwilling to let go of my man. She said it is fine, even if he says that he wants 2 wives. She spoke with me with that soft voice that I hated so much. She said that she was willing to humble herself and to bring herself below my feet, and she would respect the fact that when she started dating my husband, when she started dating my fiance was already dating me. This made her to be inferior than me in this relationship. If it happened that my future husband wanted to have 2 wives. But my brother, when we spoke with my fiance about this issue, we were at a restaurant, and when I went to that restaurant, my fiance was already sitting down and they were just having a nice meal with this lady. And when my future husband saw me, he then rose up and he asked her what I was doing there. She then tried to tell him what she had in mind. Then my fiance told her that he didn't want to have 2 wives. He wanted her and her alone. My brother, this was what broke me down. And I said, this is the final word. And this is what broke me down, and I saw that I was losing a battle, and the only way was to take her out from this world. I then started consulting with a lot of spiritualists that are always available in our small town. I was looking for something that could actually hurt her so that she doesn't keep on dating my man. I wanted something that could actually make her so sick that my fiance would run away from her. And where I was living, it is a peri-urban. They used to cook in their compound. And on this specific day, what I did, Brother Nashi, this was after I had been given some charms, such an evil thing that I did. I went and I spoke with this other lady, and this lady had, those restaurants that are always by the side of the road. There was one such restaurant that is close to the school where I am teaching. I then went there and I spoke with this lady. This lady, she goes to the same church as my mom. She is more like my mom's sister. I spoke with her and I started to cry. You know, when you want to convince someone, the easiest thing that you can do is start crying. I then started crying and I told her that the pastor a very long time ago had given my mother this prophecy that there was a Delilah that was going to come, and this Delilah was going to steal my man, and this is what had happened. And my mom had not prayed enough about this issue. I did this when I was kneeling down. I had went straight to her house to tell her about this issue, but I was just lying to her. She said that she was going to try to do whatever she could so that this woman can stop stealing my husband. And she said that she didn't want her to come and buy her food, but I begged her to keep on selling food to her because the pastor, this pastor that I was now telling her, was my own personal pastor that I had created. There was no such a pastor. I told her that this pastor had a church in another town, so I had gone there as a deliverance. And when I went there to get delivered, because there was a demon that was making my fiance to lust after this woman, my fiance loved me, but this demon was the one that was causing him. So as the pastor was praying for me, then God had showed him that there were some prayers that he needed to give me, and these prayers, they were in form of the charms. These charms, they were not evil, because the pastor was the one who had gone and he had bought the powder. I just lied to her that this was more like cinnamon powder, but this had been prayed upon by the pastor. So all that I wanted for her to do was that the next time that this woman would be coming to buy the food, she had to sprinkle the powder little bit by little bit into her food. She had to serve her these powdered prayers each and every day. So my brother, I then went back home after my mom's friend had promised me that this is what she was going to do. As for that spiritualist who helped me, he never mentioned the fact that this powder that he had given me, there were a chance that this woman was going to lose her mind, or this woman was going to lose her life. After I had given this lady the powdered charms so that she can sprinkle into her food whenever she would come to buy the food, that lady who was my enemy, then I started to notice that she now had an erratic behavior. It was like she was losing her mind. Then one weekend, my brother, I then found out that this lady, she had passed away. And when she passed away, my brother, I then started to see her in my dreams. When I saw her in my dreams, I quickly rushed back to that spiritualist, who then told me that indeed that powdered charm had done its job. I said, what do you mean when you say that the powdered charms that you gave me did its job? Because I never wanted this lady to die.